Okay, so in part 2 of our story. So the old man, the old fisherman, is just making a model boat in his little cottage right on the cliff edge. I bet he gets great views. Or he often sat alone on the cliff top watching the boat sail by. He saw seals and porpoises and great basking sharks, and sometimes he saw strange green shimmering lights in the murky deep. I wonder what that could be. On this morning he heard barking in the bay, and looking down he saw a little white dog jumping from rock to rock and splashing in the surf. Turning to the ocean, the old fisherman could just make out the head of the boy amongst the distant waves. You see the story? I'll leave it there. Beside the cottage, stone steps climbed down the cliff. It was a long time since the old fisherman had been that way, but he could still run down 2 steps at a time. And at the bottom, he kept the boat hidden amongst the rocks. Although it was years since he'd rowed the boat, the fisherman could still pull through the waves like the old days. Oh, it looks very dark and ferocious now, doesn't it? I think I'd be a bit scared. Far away in the ocean, the old fisherman rowed, but he saw no sign of the boy. The waves grew big and the sky grew dark, and the old man had almost given up hope when suddenly the little white dog began to bark. It's the boy. Can you see? And there on a round rock covered with barnacles and limpets and with seaweed growing from every crack, they found the boy. Do we think that's a rock, or do we think that's a sea monster? Later, safely back at the old fisherman's cottage, the boy looked out over the sea. "That's strange," he said. "It's a low tide, isn't it? And yet there's no sign of that rock where you found me." The old fisherman smiled. "Some rocks are strange," he said. "They pop up just when you need them, and then you never see them again." The boy thought about this. "And after all that, I still lost my boat," he said. "Never mind. You shall have this one," declared the old fisherman, presenting the boy with a model boat that he had just finished making. Down at the bottom of the ocean, amongst the wavering kelp, the great sea monster sat, and in his hand he held a little toy boat. So the sea monster, I don't think you could consider him a monster at all. He was someone who wanted a friend, or maybe he wanted to help. He was there to help the boy when he needed help, and so was the fisherman. Story there, never jump into the sea to go and rescue a boat. I want you to do an activity now, if that's okay. I would like you to design your own sea monster. I've designed mine, but I haven't given him a name yet, but I'll show you. Can you think of a name for him? Or her? It's got lots of different animals make up my sea monster. There's a land animal there. There's creatures you find in the sea. What do you think? I've got 8 legs, suckers on them. I've got a trunk here, scaly tail, some wings, and a fin. Maybe about 5 or 6 animals make up my sea monster. What could we call my sea monster? Maybe on yours you could label yours with some really exciting describing words. If you make your sea monster, I will judge them, and then I will give you a prize when we get back to school from my goodie box. We all know I have a really exciting prizes in my box, don't I? That's it, and I hope to read you a story again. That's the only storybook for your age in my house, because my boys are now 12 and 13, so I'll have to get one from somebody else. Stay safe, take care, and I hope to see you back at school shortly. Bye.